Hello and welcome to my channel, AB Make It Artwork, where we do what we do to make that holiday artwork for you. And if you're new to my channel, maybe hit that subscribe button, join the AB Creative crew. We do sketchy art things. And if you're new to my Vlogmas series, this is Digital Drawcember, a challenge month that I gave for myself so that I could get better at using the digital drawing medium. If you want to join in on the digital drawing fun, just make a digital drawing and tag it with Digital Drawcember. I will most definitely hit the like button and maybe I'll follow you back for joining in on the sketchy art fun. With the prompts for Digital Drawcember that I made for myself, I was working with Snowsuit and Park. And I decided that with Snowsuit, I was going to do more of a character mock-up, and that with Park, I was obviously going to do a landscape and work on my backgrounds. I enjoyed how the character for Snowsuit came out. I think he looks very nice. Very nice. And something that I was very annoyed with is that for both this recording and the next recording, because I opened another app mid-use of drawing these without exporting the footage before I left the app, I think it cut off parts of my footage. So sometimes jumps are due to the fact that I'm warping the drawing, and then sometimes Procreate cuts out that footage because I opened another app mid-drawing process and it just won't accept that anything happened when you open up the app again to say, hey, export my footage. So keep that in mind when using the Procreate app and using it to collect the elapsed footage of your brush strokes. Now, for this piece, I was again using that winter palette that I made for myself from blurring the heck out of a winter landscape photo and then just picking the colors that I saw most predominantly. And if I wanted different values or different tones entirely, I could use different screen blending methods, so that I wouldn't have to go and mess with the settings for the color picker. So when you see the creamy white color, that was me going over that creamy color from the winter palette with a screen layer or an add layer, because it will brighten it like times 10 depending on how you use it. And obviously to get colors darker, I tend to use the multiply layer. Now you'll see a couple instances where I like cut and paste certain color parts and sort of correct it. And right now you're seeing me work on the expressions on the face. Now when I sketched them out, I thought the expression looked good, but when I went to finally ink the expressions, I didn't like two of the mouths especially. But eventually I found a way in which the mouths worked, and I think they came out alright. If you guys want to come up for a name for him, I like to think that he's pretty spunky and a bit of a flirt and a playboy, but he's pretty nice, pretty honest, even if he can be a bit of a turd muffin. So maybe come up with some character names in the comment section down below. Here you can see me working on Park. It was a nice winter park nighttime scene, and half of the process got cut out. Like, I had worked on making a complete perspective board, and I had drawn quite a bit of this with my paintbrush tool in the app, or just the one that they provide. And I feel so sad that most of that drawing footage just poof, gone, because I accidentally opened another app before exporting the drawing footage before I opened another app mid-drawing. But some of my favorite parts are the bench. I really love how the bench came out. And if you're wondering where that scallop brush design comes from, it's a custom brush that I made from a Pinterest post in which there were different patterns. And you can do this with any, you can make custom brushes that are patterns. So if you're kind of lazy and you want to just get a pattern straight onto, maybe you want to do a wallpaper pattern, and you just make a custom brush so that it emulates that pattern you want, and you can just brush the pattern straight on. And I think that's really handy. Maybe not a lot of people are going to use the function to create their own brushes, but I don't know, I think it's pretty nifters. that you can do that with Procreate. Now you may be wondering, why did I go with a nighttime scene? Well, the winter color palette that I have is very good for moody settings. And if you watch videos on cinematography and use of color for movies and stuff, they'll often tell you that the whole bluish teal and beigey oranges is often used in action movies to create moody atmosphere that's intense or sad. And you can do this with a lot of complementary color pairings, but some will just have different feelings of moodiness. For the whole orange-blue combo, it's a bit more of a somber tone. Like the whole fallacy of youthful ambition is sort of emulated with the use of both blue, which is a sad color, and orange, which is a bright color, but it's kind of one of the lesser bright colors of red, yellow, and orange. A lot of the process mainly was me working on the trees. That's what most of the brush strokes were. And sometimes you can't see where I'm working at with the brushes because it's a really tiny, tiny round paintbrush tool or flat brush tool, and it's in the darker areas. For instance, I'm like working in the background with some of the trees, but you can really notice it when it's closer in the lighter areas near the lights. And there's one point at which I kind of copy paste a tree and use the warp tool to make it look different so that it doesn't all look like the same tree, and then I just group them together so I can finish up my trees. Also, you may be wondering why I started off with a black and white base. I started with a black and white base because I'm not proficient enough to work directly into colors, and I did not want to muddy the colors by mixing them into each other. So I started off with a black and white sort of underdrawing, underpainting, and did glazes with different layer blends for color. And those different layer blend modes were either hue or color to add the blue initially. And when I wanted to add bits of yellow, I would use screen, add, or soft light and overlay. Because soft light and overlay kind of has a different, less intense lightening process. It's just pretty much putting the color on, and it gives it a slight glow, but not too much that it's overpowering, in a sense. But yeah, I think this is about the part where you see me working on the colors, which means I'm pretty close to the end of the video. Like I said, I really enjoyed how the bench came out, and I love the trees. If you want to follow me on my other social media, I have a Instagram, I have a Tumblr, I have a Twitter, and a DeviantArt, and I keep all those social media accounts in the description down below. So if you want to follow me, or even just send me a message, you can send me a message anytime. I will most likely respond to it because I have nothing better to do. Anyways, I hope this kept your holiday spirits crafty and that you guys are making sure to do what you do to make that art for you. Lots of love. Bye.